Hey guys, it's Amanda Worthen here. I'm going to talk about a few of our AMS practices and procedures. And we're going to start with the bell schedule. So I have draft on here because this is, of course, with everything going on, this is subject to change. Just kind of wanted to give you a general idea of what the bell schedule may look like with the staggered grade level passing periods and tiger time, which was spoke about in a different part of the course that occurs between first and second period. And so that's a 26-minute advisory period that we have every day. Then this is the lunch schedule. I kind of cut the bell schedule up. This is actually a change that's already been made since I made this PowerPoint. We are now going to have A lunch via 7th and 8th grade, B lunch is 6th grade, and C lunch is also 7th and 8th grade. 7th and 8th grade, it'll be a split lunch. You'll find out what lunch you go to closer to the start of school. But both 7th and 8th grade will either go to lunch and then go to class, or go to class and then go to lunch. If you're teaching a 6th grade class, 4th period, you'll have a little bit of class. You'll break and go to lunch, and then you'll come back to complete 4th period class. 5th, the end of the day, kind of same thing. And then we're going to attempt a staggered dismissal based on kids' mode of transportation home to try to minimize students in mass and try to honor the social distancing safety protocols that we hope to have in place. So that's kind of it for bell schedule, but you can put questions in the Wonder Board if you have them. So then some duty expectations. So in general, like if any of you are veteran teachers coming from another campus, we do have AM duty and PM duty. Hallway duty and expectation of tutorials. Tutorials is a little bit up in the air right now, so there'll be more info about that to come. AM and PM duty, in the past, we've only had one duty assignment on one day a week, but with, again, trying to keep kids in separate, so we'll have more duty locations. You may have duty more than once a week, AM or PM. Hallway duty, you're just expected to be in the hallway at the start of your conference period. So if your conference period's 5th period, that 4th period bell would ring to dismiss the class, and you'd move out to a corridor and encourage kids to walk and talk, to walk with a purpose, to keep to the right, honor the one-way hallways, etc. And then we escort any students that are tardy to class. Cell phone practices, just kind of in a nutshell, we like to keep cell phones for students. We really want to keep it to instructional purposes only. But there could be some earned rewards when it comes to 7th and 8th grade, but for 6th grade, it is truly instructional purposes only. And as soon as that activity is done, they put it away. 7th and 8th grade, new this year, will be possibly using their device as an agenda and calendaring tool, and there'll be more info about that later. Phones for students should be silenced and stowed from 8:30 to 4 o'clock. We do not allow students to carry their phone on their person, and if we see them with it in their pocket or in their hand, we do confiscate that. So it should be stowed away in a backpack or a bag. For staff, we just ask that you kind of honor the kids' process, and we set a good example. So we try not to respond to text or phone calls in public locations and main corridors and things, and definitely try to refrain from any personal cell phone use during instructional time. Classroom and discipline management practices. Of course, with your classroom practices, those of you that are veteran teachers are going to have some tools that you've had in your toolbox the whole time, but as talked about in one of the other videos, those getting back on track questions coupled with the reflection questions for dealing with challenging students will kind of help guide your student interactions and hopefully mitigate any student discipline. The other piece that keeps us with students kind of following suit is to use that common language that was talked about in the culture video, and as well as some of the capturing kids' hearts practices. We'll have social contracts, which kids develop ways to deal with one another, and door greetings, and we're going to build community through good times. And these practices will help build trust and build relationships, which will hopefully make kids want to do what you need them to do. But in the event that they don't, we know that there will be times when may come a need for you to submit a referral, but we definitely want to encourage you to reach out to parents, seek their support, and seek it early. A parent hates to get a call about their kid misbehaving whenever you say this is like the 6th time, or I tell them every day. Seek that support early and get the parent to kind of help you. But if after parent support the kid's just not following suit and there's some like minor behaviors going on, and you just have to repeatedly tell the kid to stop talking, or repeatedly remind them that they don't have their materials, and you've reached out to parent and there's no reason why they shouldn't have their materials, it's just a choice, you can assign a teacher detention. There's some guidelines that go along with that we can go into later, but that is an option for you to assign a school discipline consequence of a detention, but the teacher can assign it. The main thing you need to know is that you have to make the parent contact and let the parent know that they'll be getting a detention. The office doesn't do that for you. But then if there is an egregious behavior, heaven forbid, but a fight break out in your room, or a kid use some really aggressive language towards another peer, that might be a reason to write a discipline referral. And so just so you know, the teacher detention and the discipline referrals would all be done electronically through eSchool, and we'll have a training later on with regards to how to do that, along with some other expectations when it comes to discipline. So that is kind of it for some policies and procedures, just a little snippet. So if you have questions, put them in the Wonder Board, and we'll kind of revisit and dig deeper into some of these practices when we meet you face to face and or the virtual piece on the 30th.